I remember being 20. I remember it not with longing exactly, but with a kind of tender recognition. The specific combination of certainty and terror. The way everything mattered enormously, and you weren't sure which things were supposed to matter that much, and which ones you were just performing caring about. The way you were becoming yourself at full speed without any clear idea of what self you were becoming. At 32, I know some things I didn't know at 20. I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not, and I know the difference between the two. I know how to be in a room, any kind of room, the audition room and the bar and the coffee shop and the party and the meeting and the hallway and the difficult conversation. I know how to be still and how to be present and how to listen in the way that makes people feel heard, which is not the same as agreeing with them. It's something more precise and more valuable. I know what I want, not just the career. The career is the surface of it, the visible part, the part you could put on a card. Underneath that is something more particular. I want to do the thing I am built to do, the thing that uses the most of me, the specific shape of work that fits the specific shape of what I am. I want to do it well. I want to do it in rooms and on stages and on screens, in front of people who are willing to stop their lives for 2 hours and come sit in the dark and believe. I want to make them believe. That is the whole of it, finally. That is what all the auditions and all the rehearsals and all the mornings in this corner with this coffee are in service of. Not fame. Fame is a weather system, not a destination. Not money, though money is useful, and I intend to have enough of it. Not the approval of the man in the fluorescent room. The moment when someone in a dark theater stops thinking about their day and starts thinking about what's happening on the stage. That's what I'm after. On Thursday, I'm going to walk into a room and try to make one person, the director, whoever else is there, believe something. Stop their private movie, the one we all run all the time, the one that's about our own lives and our own problems and our own next thing, and replace it for 3 minutes with something else. I know how to do this. I have known how to do this since before I had words for what it was. The rain has made up its mind while I've been sitting here. Outside the window, Manny's window, the glass is streaked with it now. The street beyond blurred and liquid, the cabs moving through it trailing their particular sound, which is different in rain than in dry weather. Lower, wetter. The tires on wet pavement having their own kind of music. The people passing outside have all opened umbrellas, except for 2, who are walking fast enough that they seem to be operating on the theory that speed is its own umbrella, that if you move quickly enough, the rain can't catch you. This theory is wrong, but I respect it. I'm going to sit here until the rain lets up. I have nowhere I absolutely need to be until 2 o'clock this afternoon, when I'm expected at the theater on 47th Street for the Tuesday run-through. Monday is my day at Manny's, the day I allow myself not to rush anywhere, not to be performing movement and purpose. Monday is the day I give myself permission to be still and think and watch and drink this coffee at the pace it deserves. After the theater, if the evening opens up, I might call Elise. I want to tell her about the audition. She is the right person for news you're afraid to say aloud, because she treats such news with the seriousness it deserves, without amplifying it into something it isn't. Elise will say, "Tell me about the role." And then she'll ask 3 very precise questions. And by the time I've answered them, I'll know something about the audition that I didn't know going in. This is what Elise does. And if Jack calls tonight, which he sometimes does on Monday evenings, Jack's Mondays evidently having a quality that makes him reach for the telephone, then we'll go to the bar on 52nd Street, and he'll tell me something, and I'll push back on it, and we'll negotiate it between us. That's the day. That's what a Monday looks like in 1947, if your name is Vera Lane and you live on West 54th Street, and you have an audition on Thursday, and a corner table at Manny's, and a geranium across the courtyard kept alive by a neighbor you've never had a full conversation with. That's the whole of it, and it is entirely enough. One more thing. I do this sometimes. I talk myself to the edge of something, and then almost leave it there, pull back, keep it for later. It's a bad habit, and Jack has called me on it. He said once, very calmly, "You have a tendency to get to the door and then not open it." I said, "That's a fair observation." He said, "I'm not asking you to open all of them, just occasionally. One door." So, one door. His name was Danny. Daniel Reardon. He was from the Bronx. He had brown eyes and dark hair, and a laugh that started slow and then arrived all at once with total commitment. The kind of laugh that makes everyone around it understand what the laugh is for, why laughter exists at all. He was 24 when he left for the Pacific. He was, when he left, I don't have a word for what he was. He was someone I was still figuring out. We were both still figuring it out. The us of it. The question of what we were to each other, which was clearly something, but something still being named. He didn't come back. 1944, somewhere in the Pacific, with a name I didn't know then and learned later, and knew after that in the way you know things you wish you didn't know, with the specificity of geography attached to loss. He was 25. That's the one on the list I told you about. The one that sits on the edge of the bed at 3 in the morning. Not every night, but some nights. The nights when the city is quiet enough that you can hear the things you've been drowning out. I'm not going to tell you I'm fine about it. I'm not going to tell you I'm not. I am going to tell you that it is a fact of my life in the same way that other facts are facts. Present, formative, carried. That I have figured out how to carry it without being defined entirely by the carrying. That Danny Reardon, 24 years old, laughing in a bar in the Bronx the last night I saw him, is part of what I am and is also, separately, something I have learned to hold gently rather than grip. Gently. Not gone. He would have liked Manny's. He would have ordered coffee and read the sports section and had an opinion about the baseball that would have led to a 20-minute conversation with whatever man was sitting near him, because that is what Danny was. A person who struck up 20-minute conversations with strangers about baseball and came away from them with a new acquaintance and information he found genuinely interesting. He would have liked Jack, I think. He would have found Jack funny in the particular way that people who are genuinely funny find each other funny. Not laughing at the jokes, but at the thing underneath the jokes, the sensibility, the world view. He would have been 31 this year. He would have come back from the Pacific and found his way through whatever the war had done to him, and eventually, I believe, I have to believe, he would have found his way back to laughing. To that slow building, fully committed, total arrival laugh. I believe that. Okay, that's one door. One's enough for a Monday. My name is Vera Lane. I'm 32 years old. I have a corner table, a bad radiator, a neighbor with a geranium, a best friend who paints things that change your breathing, a mentor who asks the right questions, and an audition on Thursday. And a boy I carry gently. That's Monday. Come back tomorrow.